some coffee here in a minute.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Reads a Comic. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Sean. How is it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going wonderfully. Rob, welcome back.
Fuck IT.
Rob's been having technical issues for about 35 minutes now.
Just to let the listeners know, the power goes down. Had to reset my modem. The modem doesn't come back up normally for some goddamn reason. Had to reset the modem. Finally got internet to the computer, and then my wife got a new docking station, and the old one had a pin plug for a headset, and the new one does not. So we got this little adapter. She's like, "Oh yeah, we'll just get an adapter for USB." Yeah, that doesn't work.
It's all out of the way now, though. Everything's good.
Everything's good. What I do for people to hear me on this podcast is just, I hope they appreciate it.
We're just shocked at what happens every week. Like, Sean and I thought little gnomes came in there, unplugged everything, and rerouted the wires or something. Like, what happens in this room from the time he leaves the podcast to the next podcast? Like, we're just dumbfounded.
This is what happens when you upgrade shit. They just eliminate all the old shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, this dock is supposed to be better.
Well, you're here. We're happy you're here.
I'm not. I'm fucking tired.
So Rob's in a great mood.
As always. Fucking old guy. Holy shit.
What's happening?
Hey, so did anybody watch? Is anybody caught up on The Boys?
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. I think so.
The season finale's this week, I think.
Oh, really? That's it?
I think. I'm not sure. I have to double. I thought I read somewhere it's the season finale, which I was kind of like, oh shit. Stranger Things. Anybody finish Stranger Things?
Oh yeah, that was good.
I'm not even.
How great?
Not even close. Dude, but go ahead. Go ahead. I don't care.
The finale was spectacular, was it not?
Dude, yes. And the use of Master of Puppets was so fucking epic, dude. I loved it.
It was great.
So cool. It was such a cool way to do it, to incorporate it.
Yeah.
That guy was actually playing it. I was watching. That's one of the few songs I actually know how to play on guitar. So I was watching his finger placements. I was like, oh, he's doing the spidery part on the 1st through the 4th fret. And like, he was actually playing the song. It was pretty cool.
How was the story? was the story cool?
I look at that show more as I really like those characters. We've been a lot of places. Some of the places the story's kind of slow and redundant, but I like the characters, so it's okay, you know, because the character writing is so good, and you like everybody on that show pretty much.
Uh-huh.
So some of the stuff is a little long, like with the Russian prison going back and forth. It was like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like,
they're captured. They're not. They're back.
Right.
Then they go back, and then
It was so they draw some stuff out. It's not perfect by any means, but it's enjoyable. Spending time with those characters is fun. So
they weren't ready to bring them stateside quite yet.
No,
that's all I kept thinking.
Right. But yeah, I enjoyed it though. It's a good series. The next season will wrap it up. I'll be happy to watch it.
Can you get
a solid series, and it's gotten better?
Can you go back to The Boys? I think I may have fell asleep during the last episode. How did it end?
Oh,
dude, that's a good question. I
was thinking. I think it was forgettable. I think it was forgettable.
I'm trying to remember. So I watched. So I'll watch it tonight. They tend to premiere them like at 8 or 9 o'clock on the night before. I found out last week. So I watched it like last Thursday night.
All I remember is Soldier Boy trying to fuck two old women.
There's a big revelation last week, right? Wasn't that the big reveal?
Yes.
So, do you remember, Steve?
No, I remember Homelander talking to Maeve in a prison, and that's like the last thing I remember. I think I fell asleep.
That was early on. Well, you probably need to watch the end because that was a big.
Soldier Boy reveals that he is Homelander's Faja.
Oh, Faja! No way.
Yes. So that was the big reveal last week.
I definitely fell asleep.
And then you just never rewatched it. So
I woke up. It was last night. I fell asleep. Kristen wanted to watch Umbrella Academy, so we finished that up. And then I was like, "Oh, we got to do the podcast tomorrow." So I was like, "I got to watch The Boys too." And then I just fell asleep, and I was.
What'd you think of Umbrella Academy?
Oh, dude, I loved it, man.
Don't spoil. I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, you
really?
haven't? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I remember telling you guys, I was like, after the first 2 episodes, I was like, oh, that's all right. But then at the end of the second episode, I think they introduced like the ball of fire and like, death and destruction and apocalypse and all that. And then it started kicking off with all, I don't want to say too much because you haven't seen it. But
how many episodes are you in?
I loved it.
I think about halfway through.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if there's 8 or 10 episodes, but I'm on like 4 or 5.
I thought Umbrella Academy and Stranger Things were both just fun to watch. I enjoyed watching both of them.
Which one did you like
and again,
better?
I like the characters, and it's kind of the same thing with Umbrella Academy. Is I really like those characters, so I just, even when it kind of dips, it's still watchable. It's still a good time because you just want to see what happens to everybody, and and it moves for the most part too. It's not very real slow. I mean, it has its slower moments, but it moves for the most part.
I'm really enjoying the Hotel Obsidian, like the setting and the mysteries of the hotel and stuff. It's really fun, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, finish that. We're like, hey,
hey,
let's do a podcast, and everybody's finished different things.
Right.
What are we supposed to watch next week? Speaking of podcasts,
Matrix Reloaded.
Matrix Reloaded. Yeah. That's right.
Oh, I had fun watching that.
I was very excited.
Steve's like, any excuse to watch The Matrix again. Absolutely.
And I got my.
I had that.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know I texted this to you guys, but I had kind of an epiphany about what it was about the Batman that I just didn't connect with. Even though overall, like I said, I mean, I did enjoy it, but I wasn't invested ever. And it's because the Riddler is literally just killing like politicians and government officials. And so to me, that's a no stakes game. You know what I mean? Like that's like, that's like burning down abandoned buildings. Like I have no investment. I don't care. Go ahead. Kill them all. Like, I didn't realize that on my first like 2 watch throughs, the first 2 viewings. I was just like, why don't I care about what he's doing? That's why. Because he's not threatening. I mean, now granted at the end they have the whole, mild flooding issue that that also was lame when I think about it too. It's like, really, that's it? Like a waist high flood? That's your big finale? You know what I mean? Like that's your big, I'm going to destroy Gotham with a waist high flood. Like, I just, none of that. Like, dude, these stakes are so fucking low, dude. This is such a low stakes game.
Well, weren't they trying to take out that, oh, that was the politician. Never mind.
The politician.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. I don't care. Like
you texted us both that, and I don't care that you care this much about the Batman. I'm just like, dude, I didn't watch it after the first viewing. I
don't know if you know this, but I love Batman.
Yeah.
I'm gesturing towards all my Batman memorabilia.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
So it's one of those things where I'm invested in the character. I want to enjoy things. And when I have that disconnect, I try to figure out if there's something wrong with me, if there's something wrong with the product.
Did it get an overwhelmingly good response? Is that why you're like questioning?
Yeah.
Should I like it?
I think for the most part, it's pretty, that's the thing. Most people seem to enjoy it. It's not like, this ginormous, like, No Way Home type of hit like that. But the overall people seem to, be like, oh, this is a good movie. And I'm just like, why don't I feel that way about it? Why do I just feel like it's very, some elements I thought were great. Like I said, the costume and the setting and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just like, why don't I care about anything that's happening in this movie?
What I don't understand is why you haven't, after all these years, why you don't trust your own instincts yet. Like, why do you care?
Well,
like, what you like.
Why? I know, but I just feel like I want to evolve. I want to enjoy things. I want to enjoy more things. You know, and I know my reputation as somebody is like a hater, and I don't feel like I am, but I think that subconsciously I think that of myself because so many people think I just hate everything, which again, gesturing towards like I love lots of things passionately, but when I don't like something, I tend to really not like it. I tend to, hate it sometimes when it's like, and I mean, some stuff is just middle of the road. And I just felt very middle of the road about this movie.
That's even because it was middle of the road. That's exactly what it was. It was different. It was okay. I enjoyed watching it. I don't want to watch it again. I think it's too slow.
See, I appreciate you saying that. I feel like most people.
No, I thought that's how we all reviewed it, though.
Steve seemed to really like it.
I don't like everything, dude. Really it's me. I like everything.
I don't think Steve was over the top on this one, though, either.
No, I wasn't.
I think we all were kind of like, yeah, it was good. It was okay. It was different. It was a take. But
when I watched it with Logan, he really liked it, and I'm just like, well, fuck. What am I missing? God damn it! And I just feel like I just feel like I'm outside on the window, like looking in, like what's going on in there?
Well, I don't,
it was artsy. It was artsy, man. It was interesting. It was different.
I can rewatch. What's the one with the Joker?
The Joker
with the Dark Knight. The one I have the
Dark Knight. You can watch that again and again and enjoy it. This one, like the first Batman, I don't think I really watched the Batman.
I've seen that a million times. I love that movie.
Whatever.
1989. Are you talking about Batman Begins or 89?
Batman Begins. It's good.
I watched that a lot too.
But what about the third one? Do you watch the third one again?
Not nearly as much.
Not nearly as much. I do like the third one, not as much as the other two.
It was good, but it's not like rewatchable like the second.
Not like right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think the third one was better than this the Batman.
I agree. I agree with you.
But I thought this was different and it was okay, but it's not something that I want to keep watching again. It's like it's not as bad as like The Last Jedi. I can't get through it. I could probably get through it. It's just that I don't want to watch it again. Does that make sense?
You got interested.
Yeah.
It was an okay experience. It's not.
Whereas The Last Jedi, I can't get through it. I try and watch it and I fall asleep and then I just gave up and I was like, I guess I'll never watch that again.
Actually, I've watched Batman Begins more than I have The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah.
Even though I like The Dark Knight better, I've just watched Batman Begins more.
Because it's on TNT a lot more.
Maybe.
Well, no, that was one of those. I remember when that came out on DVD. I watched it constantly too, because that was kind of that gap where that was before Iron Man, and Spider-Man was. We had Spider-Man 2 in I think the year before Batman Begins. And then we had Batman Begins. And Batman Begins, to me, that was one of those moments that moved the genre forward again. The same way Batman 89 did.
Yeah.
Batman Begins, I was like, whoa, this is the coolest Batman origin movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it was just, everything about it was so cool.
I love the
Dark Knight trumped that.
Yeah. The training with Liam Neeson, man, I love all that. Will is everything. And then when he's when he cuts that one guy so he knows who it is, I love all that shit. And then he's all hopped up on drugs and he's seeing bats. I'm like, what great imagery, man.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it brought Batman back to the front of the line.
And like I said, I think it elevated superhero movies in general. Just again, it was Spider-Man 2 was awesome. It was great, but to me, it wasn't a monumental step forward for the genre. And then I felt like Batman Begins. I was like, holy shit. Everything from the soundtrack, the Hans Zimmer soundtrack, the design of the Batmobile, that, the whole tank thing, which is holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah. And then the whole Ra's al Ghul reveal, he had the mustache, he had it. They were showing it.
I never even suspected. That's what's funny to me is I should have known. I really feel like I should have known that was him.
Yeah. I remember you saying that. I didn't know who Ra's al Ghul was at the time, but you were like, oh man, I can't believe it. He had the stash,
Right. It was it was so obviously him. But Ducard was also a character in the comics too. So I just thought he was Ducard. I didn't know that he so that was a good twist that even got the comic book fanboy.
Plus, you got the ending when he blows the train in half and just floats out the back.
Yeah.
Like, god damn, man, that looks so fucking good. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. I think that's what I wanted from this new Batman was like, okay, can this new reboot move the genre forward again? And I feel like it fell way short of that for sure. With everything almost. And it's funny because you can't help but compare it to Far From Home, which had just come out a few months prior, and how they kind of have a similar kind of realization the heroes do. Like Spider-Man wants to help the villains instead of just fight them,
Mm-hmm.
and then Batman towards the end of the Batman is like, I gotta help these people. But I'm like, Spider-Man's journey makes a little bit more sense because he, especially considering, now he's not even affiliated with the Avengers or Tony Stark or anything because nobody knows who he is, and he doesn't have the money. But Batman, literally, the next logical step for him is to stop being Batman. Then, basically, at the end of that movie, is for him to be like, I should probably get more involved with since I have tons of money. Would be you know what I mean? Like the way it ended, it was just like, well, what are you going to stop punching people? I love watching you punch the poor people. That's my favorite thing for you to do.
He starts a food drive. The end.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Like he turns into Aunt May working at Feast. And it's like it's just kind of, and obviously they're not going to do that, but it was just that ending though, where it was just like, how am I got to help these people. Punching poor people isn't working out. It turns out it's not really helping anybody. And
just keep hitting them. Like you'll figure it out.
But like again with Spider-Man, Spider-Man is a poor person. So and he's just trying to help because he feels that responsibility to do so. He doesn't have the money to help to really make true change like Bruce Wayne does. Bruce Wayne could make real changes in Gotham.
Yeah. Plus Peter, he's young and naive, and he, Batman's like, there ain't no shit. Ain't shit going to change. I'm going to have to change it.
Right. And it's a different thing. But again, like I said, I just want things. If I don't like something, I have to revisit it a lot of times until I'm just like, okay, I guess I don't like this.
I don't think it was you didn't like it. I just think you're trying to understand why everybody liked it more than you.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm getting coffee.
All right.
I'm sitting here texting my son, and I forgot his phone is messed up.
Don't hit the wires.
Why won't he answer me? I'm not. I'm just putting this down very gently.
Put it on your chair. Put it on your chair.
Jackass.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, but like when you do hate on something, you always follow it up with like why I didn't like this. Like you give reasons like why I'm not enjoying this as much as everybody. So like I don't know.
But I also something I tend to do, and I think everybody does this, but like I do tend to be hypocritical. Like I might criticize something in one movie and then praise it in another, depending on the delivery of that, whatever that might be, the plot point or even how a line was
you mean like when you said you like stop motion animation better than Doctor Strange's?
Oh, my phone was cracked.
Like, if you like Doctor Strange, there's no way you want to see stop motion animation in Doctor Strange.
Oh no, I don't think I meant that. I think it's just because you don't like
property. You wouldn't want to see stop motion animation in Deadpool or something, or Batman.
Well, it depends on how it fits because it can fit. But no, I'm not saying that. I would never say like, oh yeah, they need to stop doing CGI and just do stop motion. I'm just saying I do enjoy it depending on how in RoboCop 2 in 1990 it made perfect sense. But no, I'm not. I don't think that's what I meant. Was that I prefer it.
I thought you were saying you prefer it to Doctor Strange's.
I think I think what I was trying to say was just that with a lower budget and the fact that it didn't look that good, RoboCop was still more enjoyable than all that money on the screen in Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay.
Where, you know what I mean? Like I think that might've been what I was trying to convey. I don't really remember, but it has more to do with like budgets and how they're used. And Marvel has like these, basically an endless budget for these movies. And yet like, I just don't even care what's on. It's more entertaining to watch a goofy, stop motion fight than it is to watch Doctor Strange throw musical notes just because they can do that. to me. I guess that's the comparison I'm trying to make. It's not necessarily.
I thought that
has
was
more
a
to do with the
strange
content.
decision all around, no matter what CGI.
Yeah.
I was like, what? What are we doing here?
I just rewatched that, and I know Sean did mention the CGI when he was first talking about it. The musical notes didn't bother me, but I watched it again. I think on the big screen, I didn't notice the CGI as much, but watching it on my TV, it looked very CGI throughout the whole film in a lot of spots. And I was like, wow, I don't think I noticed it watching it on the big screen as much. So
I haven't watched that one again
all those
yet.
movies though, they're filmed in the volume and green screen, and and again, I'm not one of those people who's be like, oh, you should use every tool in your toolbox, but I think they go a little far. It was funny because when you would watch when Phantom Menace came out on DVD, and I would watch all the behind the scenes stuff, and you're like, holy shit, did they film anything on a soundstage? And it looked terrible back then because it was 1999.
Right.
Now it looks a lot better, but it's like, could you please still just film something on a soundstage that's not covered in green fucking fabric? That's something I did appreciate about the Batman, even though there were still CG shots in that too. Is it just felt more like those those older 80s 90s action movies where they're actually doing the stunts.
That's why I like Mission Impossibles, man.
Oh yeah. I agree. Yeah. Those are like that's where the bar is right now. I think when it comes to just straight up action, not superhero action, but just straight up action, they really do that shit or make it look as close as possible.
Right.
Like it's
like
very believable.
What they're using CGI for is to get rid of the wires. You know what I mean? That's what Yeah. So
I mean, and with enough money, I mean, it looks good though.
Yeah.
Dude, Tom Cruise is 60.
I watched Jaws on Independence Day because that seems to be a thing people do, and I'm not like a big Jaws guy.
Very slow movie.
Very slow still. It feels a lot longer than 2 hours, man.
It's very slow. I watched it about a couple years ago, and I was like,
yeah, it's like, God damn. But it's not a bad movie. It's just, I don't have that nostalgia for it because I didn't get to see it when I was younger. It was a very popular movie, though, because I remember I knew the theme song. Anytime I'd go swimming, I would, try to, do the fucking shark fin hand thing. And, everybody was like terrified of that movie. But I never really got to watch. And then when I think it was built up so much in my mind as a kid that the movie in my mind was so much more terrifying than the very kind of, I don't want to say lame, but it didn't really it's a PG movie though. It's not like in my mind, it was like fucking Jason and Freddy in the water. It was just limbs flying left and right, just blood ocean, so it did live up to what I had decided Jaws was as a kid.
I watched it like
it's still a good
4
movie,
years ago for the first time, and I don't remember much of it at all.
Well, Steven Spielberg's come a long way. Like I said, I would tell somebody to watch Jurassic Park over Jaws because that's a much better. It moves a lot faster. It's to me, it's way more intense. It just makes it's just a better movie in my opinion. It's still Steven Spielberg.
What year did Jaws come out?
75.
Think about that.
Right.
Yeah. You got to put it in its time.
I know.
I wish I had seen it as a kid, though. I think if I had seen it as a kid, I would feel differently about it. So
I know I sound so stupid saying this, but how did they kill it? Didn't they blow him up with dynamite or something? How did they kill Jaws?
It wasn't dynamite. It was like it was like one of those CO2 containers.
Oh,
they shot it.
Right. That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they tried. I can't remember if they had dynamite or they might have. He might have eaten some dynamite too. I don't remember.
Where
but then the CO2 tank, they shot
look
it.
in one of those little things.
But even that whole scene where he's attacking the boat, to me was just the first time I saw it. I'm like, a shark would not just attack a boat. Like, this is so dumb. They would just bounce up like, oh shit, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? Like a small boat, like a rowboat, sure. But they were up on like a decent sized boat. It's like, he's not just going to keep bashing into it. What the fuck, man?
That shark is crazy, man.
Right. That shark's fucking crazy.
When did Orca come out? Did you guys ever seen that?
I've never seen Orca.
Orca, what is that?
What was that called? It was
Is
called.
it a mockbuster?
No, it was a movie. What was it?
Are you sure you got the title right?
No, I don't think I do.
I remember
Orca.
the Meg with Jason
No,
Statham.
it was a scary. It was like Jaws, but it was called Orca. But it was called.
I remember Deep Blue Sea.
No, that was after. This was like, I don't know if Jaws came out first or Orca. Orca came out after Jaws. It came out in '77.
Well, that's what I said. It's what they call
It's
a
got
mockbuster.
Richard Harris and Bo Derek are in it.
It's a mockbuster. That's what they call it when they make a movie that's just a knockoff. That's like a cheap. Not in the '70s necessarily. What you didn't have straight to video, but a lot of them are straight to video. Like there's a movie called the Terminators. It's not affiliated with the Terminator, but they get away with calling it the Terminators.
Right.
And they do it for so many movies, and I'm always like, who the fuck is watching this? Like, who's like, yeah, let me see the low budget knockoff of this other movie I like. That's always weird to me. But there's clearly an audience for it.
I'm hiding that movie behind me now. It's like it's not there. Yeah, okay. The orcas, the killer whale. Okay, that makes sense. Killer. We'll go with it.
That's why Battlestar Galactica exists, is because of Star Wars. Basically, that's the whole reason we like that franchise exists, is because they were like, oh shit, sci-fi space opera is hot. Let's do something. So Battlestar Galactica came out. And then they revived Flash Gordon after that. That's why we got a Flash Gordon movie in the early 80s. Because Star Wars was the hot property, so they were just literally trying to copy it without infringing on anything.
Dude, what Rob was telling me last week about like how like George just wanted to hand the reins to Kirshner, I was just like, well, that's crazy, man. Like I would never let go of that. As popular.
I don't think he heard that. Were we talking about that while he was gone?
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, Sean. I forgot you don't listen. Yeah, but he was,
the podcast was much better when you left. No, I'm just kidding.
Rob was saying that, just
I like when I leave.
George didn't want to direct the second one. And I was just like, man,
right.
You'd have to fucking pry me away from the second one.
I saw an interview with, because Kirshner directed RoboCop 2. And so I just Googled him, and this thing came up about him turning down. He didn't want to do Empire Strikes Back. So it was basically him explaining what happened and how he ended up doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did know that like Lucas, he just had such a crazy experience on the first Star Wars. It was so overwhelming that I think that's why he handed it over. And then, Richard Marquand did the third one.
He just kept hounding him. And like the reasons why he wanted him to do it, like kept putting more pressure on Kirshner. It's like, yeah, if this movie makes a lot of money, then I'm gonna. He showed him where he was gonna build Skywalker Ranch if it made money, and cool. He's like, dude, you're not making it better. That's too much pressure. He's like, I'm not gonna sleep for like 2 years. What are you doing? And he just kept hounding him. Yeah,
I'm glad that went well, because ILM changed fucking everything, man. Like that was a huge step forward.
Well, did you see that trailer? There's something coming to Disney Plus. They're doing a whole like light and magic documentary about the creation of Industrial Light and Magic. And I watched the trailer today, but that was the whole thing. Like it came about because of Star Wars, because they didn't know what they were doing. They just knew what they wanted to do. And, there was no such thing as like an effects house at that point. From what they said. So that's how it like started, and they've grown since then. Now they're like the go-to effects house for CG and everything,
Now, is that separate, or was that part of that's separate, right? George still owns that?
I do not know. I probably not, since they're doing a Disney Plus thing. He probably sold everything off, but I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. I don't know how that was broken up, if it was.
Yeah, I don't either. If he still has his fingers in that or not, I do not know. It's something worth looking up. But I love documentaries, behind the scenes stuff, so I'm going to eat that up. But I think it's supposed to be like a 6-part documentary about ILM, and plus I know so many of those people, not know personally, but just from watching so many other behind the scenes. Phil Tippett, Joe Johnson, Bert. What's the guy's name that did all the sound effects? I forget his name. Bert somebody, but just I'm so used to seeing those faces, and they like you see footage of them when they're younger. They talk to them now, looking back, and I love that, seeing that juxtaposition too, like the young, fresh-faced Phil Tippett and Joe Johnson trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And then now when they look back, when they have all this experience, they're like the biggest names in special effects now. It's just really cool to me to see all that stuff. I just dig it.
It's got to get harder to invent something like new, right? Like
Yeah.
the further we progress, it's like run out of fucking ideas, man. Like,
well, that's what's funny. That's one of the reasons I really like the Matrix Resurrections is it's so close to being called Matrix Erections. But anyway, the reason I like it is when they're spitballing the new Matrix 4 video game, and I know I've referenced this a lot of times, but when they're how basically you could kind of tell Lana Wachowski is telling us that Warner Brothers wanted her to come up with something like new and innovative, and it's like, dude, like her and Lily, they invented bullet time,
right? They're like, what do you want from me?
Right? It's like you can't do that every time. You know what I mean? Like you can't just come up with something that everybody imitates. Like that's such an insane request, basically, to be like, like I said, when Christina Ricci's like, the two words that come to mind are fresh and innovative or something like that. And it's just hilarious. And like, she's like, remember that as you work on the Matrix 4. And it's just like, it's so funny because obviously it's like, dude, you're doing a sequel. You're doing the third sequel to a movie, and you want it to be fresh and new, and it's like it's ridiculous. And that's like Lana being like, I don't know what to do. Like I don't know how to be fresh or new at this point.
And that's coming from Hollywood that does nothing but remake shit.
Right. They only want to make surefire hits too. Like anything that's a sure thing, and they probably thought this new Matrix movie was a sure thing.
I didn't want anything innovative though. At the end, I just wanted a kick-ass fight scene. That's all I wanted.
Right.
Like yeah. I wasn't looking for innovation.
Yeah, the budget for choreography was lacking in that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the budget though. They had a big budget. It was not a budgetary thing. It was, I think those were just choices they made, and I don't know why. I mean, I have my ideas. I can't confirm them.
Choices were
made. Decisions were made, as Sean would say. Did you guys see the Clerks 3 trailer at all?
No.
Yes.
All right, Sean. And are you?
I do like. I mean, it's very meta, since, as you may or may not know, Kevin Smith had a heart attack years back, and it kind of helped him refocus his life in a lot of ways. So the character Randall has a heart attack and decides that instead of just shitting on movies all the time, he's going to make his own movie, which again is kind of meta because Kevin Smith, made the first Clerks on a shoestring budget because he just loved movies or whatever. So it looks like it'll be enjoyable. I will definitely see it. Probably not at the theater because
It looks better than the second.
The Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and I went to the theater. There was only like 2 showings. I was so excited, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is terrible.
It wasn't as bad as Yoga Hosers.
I didn't even watch that. I saw that. That was one of the things. That was like Miss Marvel. I was like, I am not the target market. I'm not even going to bother with that.
That's one of the movies that I couldn't even make it through. I got halfway, maybe.
That's saying something.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. There was a scene with Johnny Depp, and I was like, I can't. This is going on way too long. I can't do this. Yeah. But Clerks 3, I think it looks better than the second one. So I'm not like pumped, but I'm a little excited to see it. I hope it does well for him,
And that's the thing too, is I like Kevin Smith. Like that's the thing too, that I think a lot of people, critics, anonymous critics on the internet anyway, they have trouble separating the work from the creator. And that's why, George Lucas got all that hate. Kevin Smith gets a lot of hate. I don't contribute to that. I mean, I guess maybe I am now, but I have nothing against the dude. I love the dude. I wish him well. He's doing what he wants to do. Mm-hmm. And he wants to make crappy movies now. So God bless him. But hopefully that changes. But he's happy though. He's doing his thing. He's able to make movies. And if you follow him on any kind of social media, he genuinely seems like a content guy. So like that's great. That's all you know what I mean? Like I wish the dude well. And I wish I enjoyed his movies more, his later output, but what are you gonna do? He still had a huge impact on me when I was younger.
There's not a lot of people that make more than one or two good movies. You know what I mean? I mean, we got spoiled with Spielberg.
Yeah, but we got Scorsese though. Scorsese's made a fucking shit ton of great movies.
Yeah, but how many bad movies has he made too? Though people seem to forget.
Well, Scorsese though, like, I don't know.
There hasn't been too many Christopher Nolan movies I didn't like.
Right, that's another great one. There are some, truly greats out there. Comedy is hard. I will say that. I'm not saying it's necessarily harder than another genre, but it can be. It's hard to write consistently funny stuff. Like I've been getting back to my writing more, and trying to be a little bit more free with my writing, and then I started a screenplay because I'm just fed up with where the Ninja Turtles are at, so I decided to take it into my own hands.
All right, here you go. Have you heard of Silence?
No, I've never heard of that.
Did you watch Shutter Island?
Oh, that was good.
Shutter Island.
Did you like that? Killers of the Flower Moon.
I have no idea what that is.
Hugo.
I think I've seen that.
Oh, that was a kid's movie. Yeah, that was decent for a kid's movie.
Mean Streets.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Okay, he does have a lot of good movies.
Yeah, I don't know his whole oeuvre.
Yeah, I'm trying to find bad ones, and I really got to nitpick. Kudun.
I don't know that one.
Goodfellas was horrible.
Right? Maybe some of his shit. Even Alice Doesn't Live Here.
Dude, I remember when so Mason, he's not a big movie guy, but I put on The Departed one day. And this was years ago.
He's batting 500. That's pretty fucking good. And he's done a lot of movies.
He's a great one, man. He's up there.
Yeah.
And again, nobody bats 1,000. I'm not expecting anybody to.
Right.
But
Kevin Smith ain't Martin Scorsese either.
Right. He's batting maybe 200 at best.
Yeah. But that's pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
But I put on The Departed years ago, and Mason came out of his bedroom to watch it, or not to watch it. He came out just to talk or whatever, and he got sucked in, man.
Yeah.
And he just watched the whole fucking movie, and he was just like, and The Departed is not really aimed at teenagers. And again, he's not even a movie guy, but it's funny though. He definitely has a knack for, like, he knows what he likes
in the audience. Oh, you're talking about Mason?
Mason just, like, he doesn't really get sucked into crap. If I'm out here watching Spider-Man 3, he just comes out here and laughs at me and leaves the room. Like he doesn't care. But like other times, I forget what I was watching the other day. Even I had something on, and I don't think he stood and watched the whole. I can't remember if he watched the whole thing or not, but I don't remember what it was, so it doesn't matter. But like he'll get sucked in. Like, dude, Logan told me his favorite movies. I asked Logan like a few weeks ago his favorite movies, and again, Predators is all time favorite, but it's also Back to the Future, first Back to the Future, the first Terminator, The Dark Knight. I think that's what he named, was those 4 movies. With The Dark Knight, The Terminator. So I mean, that basically could be one of my lists. I wouldn't rank Predator as high, but he fucking loves Predator. And it's just funny. He's seen all kinds of stuff though. And he's very rebellious. He doesn't he's not trying to impress me with his opinions. That's literally what has appealed to him of the movies he's seen. And he sees a lot more movies than Mason does. Like, he went and saw Joker when it came out with his friends without me and stuff.
What sucks you in the most? Like, what director, like, for me, it's Tarantino. Like, the dialogue in some of these scenes, like, I cannot turn away. Like, it is so riveting.
Yeah.
And I've never, like, he's done that to me multiple times where, like, this is the most intense and crazy stuff I've ever seen. And it is just so memorable,
Yeah, Aiden just watched Django. What? How you say it?
Oh yeah,
I still haven't seen that yet.
There's plenty of dialogue in that just is like, holy fuck.
Aiden was like, holy crap.
Yeah, man.
That's what's weird too, is like I don't follow any one director 100%. And I love Tarantino's one of the all-time greats, but I still haven't seen Django Unchained. I still haven't seen The Hateful Eight. I don't know why. I don't have like a good reason for it, but I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love both the Kill Bill movies. Pulp Fiction, obviously, an all-time great. Even, I remember going like Jackie Brown and Glorious Bastards, an all-time great. Like Glorious Bastards, man. That opening scene, and then that scene where they're in the bar in the basement, and it's just that, oh man, so fucking intense.
Dude, it's crazy intense. I was like, I think I need heart medication to watch this,
So you need to watch Breaking Bad. If you like stuff like that, you should watch Breaking Bad. That's an anxiety-inducing show.
What Steve is asking you, Sean, is what will get you out of the house to see a movie?
Right. Is there anyone that can draw you out?
What would be this year? What the fuck is on the horizon this year? I don't even know. Thor looks terrible. The more I watch the trailer, the more I'm like, this looks like a piece of dog shit.
Black Panther.
It just looks bad. Black Panther. I saw that the other day. I didn't realize it was coming out this year. Then I was like, what? Because they were like, there's one more Marvel movie coming out this year. And I was like racking my brain. I'm like, what else is coming out? I was like, Black Panther. I'm like, oh God, that's going to suck.
They've been really quiet about that one.
Yeah. It's like,
really
quiet. It really just going to be Shuri? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, is that the direction you're going? Like, they're in a tough spot. Don't get me wrong, man. Because Chadwick was fucking awesome. Everybody loved him as the Black Panther. So they are at a spot when it comes to that particular franchise.
Bring Michael B. Jordan back from the grave.
They probably will. I mean, that's a comic book move. But Chadwick Boseman was just, he was like Chris Evans as Captain America.
Right.
Yeah. Perfect.
I agree.
Yeah. So those are just big shoes to fill. So they're just in a tough spot. I don't know what to do about that. I really don't. But if Shuri is going to be the star, I think that's insane. I don't think anybody wants that except for like the 5 people on Twitter who are just loudmouths about everything. It's like, oh, she's black and she has a vagina. It's amazing. So other than that, like, I don't think anybody wants that. But I am curious what. Yeah, I just feel like that's one of those things.
I enjoyed her part. I enjoyed her part in Black Panther, but like if she's the lead, like you said, it's like, dude,
I am so tired of the arrogant child who's way too smart for their age. I hate that trope. It's always annoying. Like, it's so rare that there's like an arrogant kid who's super smart that you're like, I like this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that. I don't care who it is. It's just when you have the super smart kid who's just a smart ass and they know everything, I'm just like, come here. Like, I don't like that. And maybe it's just because I'm a parent or whatever, but I don't know what
you just got done giving RoboCop 2 4 stars with a main kid antagonist. Like, come on.
Well, he was a bad guy though. You weren't supposed to like him.
Oh,
when you're trying to make like, you were not supposed to like that kid. He was a villain, but Shuri is supposed to be likable. And it's like, I don't like Shuri. I don't. And I don't like that she's 14 pounds. Like, you can call me a body shamer. That's fine.
I can never get over that scene where she has like the power gloves on and her arms. Yes. I think it's in Infinity War.
I know what you're talking about.
No, it's in Endgame. I think it's in Endgame. I don't know. But like her arms look so skinny. Like, is so bad. They look like twigs. I was like, man, they could have beefed her arms up a little bit,
As Deadpool would say, she has paper towel tube arms.
Right. And I will never get that image out of my mind. Right. I laugh so hard every time I see it.
So, and I'm not even against like a female Black Panther, just not her. You know what I mean? Just like, please not paper towel tube arms, girl. I just, please no. Black Panther to me is like Captain America, where it's not an identity. It's a position almost. So almost anybody can fill it. That's why I hate that there's multiple Spider-Mans or whatever. Cause it's like, no, it's a secret. It's the identity of Peter Parker that he created. It's not a title. He is Spider. It's like even with this new Thor movie. It's like Jane Foster isn't Thor. She's Jane Foster with Thor's powers. Thor isn't a title. It's a fucking name. I just, it just drives me nuts. But you can do it with Spawn, though, because Spawn is short for Hellspawn. So anybody can be a Spawn, basically. I have these rules about that stuff. You can think they're stupid, that's fine. But I hate when people share a name. It's like, no, just create a new character then. Like, they don't have to share a fucking name.
And Chadwick, it's just like you said, though. Chadwick Boseman was so fucking perfect, dude. Like, he was just spot on.
He was Black Panther, and he was just, dude, that scene at the end of Civil War when
he stopped Zemo from shooting him.
Yeah. Like, that's such a great scene.
So good.
Yeah. And you're just like, that's such a, that's what you want from somebody in that role. Somebody as a leader that can, push their personal feelings aside and truly work for the greater good. Like, it was so well done. But yeah, he was great.
So you're not. What you're saying is you're not getting out of the house to see that? Is that what you said?
I don't know, because that's one of those things that has kind of like train wreck appeal. Like, it's kind of like, ooh, this might be so bad I have to see it.
Well, you didn't see Morbius. Quiet. You didn't see Morbius.
Yeah. Well, no,
that's train wreck.
That's appeal. Like that's a different kind of bad, because I don't even like, just from the inception of it, it's like nobody wants to see this character on screen. Like Black Panther, at least, we followed the character. We know about the world. We're invested a little bit, right? How it ties into Morbius is just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just from the get-go, I'm not, but I have a little investment because I am curious. What direction they're going to go, but but yeah, ultimately probably no. I probably won't leave the house for that.
No, you're not leaving the house.
I thought next Mission Impossible.
Like, has there ever?
I'll see that
this fall, Christmas
next year. No, next year.
Has there ever been a Taika Waititi thing you didn't like? Because I thought for sure he would draw you out.
Avatar.
I will go see
Avatar. Yeah, that's right.
I will go see Avatar.
I might not go see Avatar.
I'll go see Avatar because
I'm definitely seeing Avatar.
That's one of those things where I'm just like, I got to see it because I'm trying to comprehend it. I'm trying to comprehend its appeal.
It's gonna be the same movie in water.
Right, yeah, dude.
It's Water World.
I'm not defending this movie at all, but there's a part of me that's so curious about pop culture and what they latch onto sometimes that I'm just like, I will most likely. I was telling Logan and I were talking about it the other day. I was looking at screenshots that were published in like on Entertainment Weekly's website or whatever, like legit shots, and I'm like, is it just me or do the Na'vi look worse? Like they look like more cartoony and weird. I'm like, this is interesting. Logan agreed. He was like, yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, their eyes are like way too big now. Like, and I'm like, okay, so it's not just me, because I'm like looking at the pictures of it and I'm just like, this is 13 years progress. They look like this now.
I was going to ask you how long it had been. So it's 13 years, huh?
Yeah, it's been 13 years. It came out in 2009, I believe. I think my math is right. It's close. 13-ish years.
Aiden and I went and saw Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, did you? Nice. Yeah. Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was good.
I want to see that.
Good? Better than a Toy Story movie?
No, but I mean, it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
I'll watch that on Disney Plus for sure.
I thought it was good. I mean, it didn't blow your mind or anything, but I mean, it was decent. I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in the trailer that was like, oh, I have to see this.
Yeah.
Was Zurg the bad
watching
guy?
The Thor stuff.
I cannot tell you. There is a twist.
Oh, okay.
But going back, I know Steve had asked me if there's anything by Taika Waititi I haven't liked, and I can't think of anything. But the reason I feel like this is not a passion project for him. Ragnarok was a huge success, so they wanted him back. I think this is more of a payday movie for him, in my opinion. I haven't seen it yet. This is just from the trailer. I don't think this is Taika Waititi at his finest when it comes to writing, basically. I think
you have no faith that he can cash that check.
I think he was.
No.
I think he enjoys making this movie with this cast. I think he likes Hemsworth. And I think he's having a good time. But like you said, I don't think it like his stuff is really passionate. Like Jojo Rabbit. I mean, he was passionate about that.
Right.
What We Do in the Shadows,
or even like
his
Flight of the
TV stuff.
Conchords.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just don't. This seems maybe kind of a little rushed. And then the other thing, and this is just personal for me, I still don't like Thor as a character. I don't care. Maybe he's corny. I don't like his look. I don't like his weapon. Like I don't like. It's like Doctor Strange. I'm just not into that character. So for me to enjoy Ragnarok as much as I did says something about Taika Waititi for sure. But it was mostly just because it was funny. But the jokes in this trailer are not landing with me. So that's what leads me to believe that this might have been rushed, or this is just kind of like, well, shit, if you're going to pay me all this money to do a Thor movie, let's do a fucking Thor movie. Which, no disrespect to Taika, I would do the same goddamn motherfucking thing, dude. Write and direct, make that Marvel money.
He's about to tackle Star Wars, so can't be any worse than anything we've seen with Star Wars lately.
Dude, I thought there was some funny stuff in the trailer. It's not funny anymore because I've seen it 17 times, but like initially the first run, I thought it was pretty funny.
It's a lot of it's just the character. Goes back to reading comics. I never read Thor. Was never into Thor. Still not into Thor. Ragnarok was funny. I feel like they're going for that here, I don't think they really honed the jokes as much as they did on the first one. So, and again, I could be wrong. Literally, I'm going off a 2-minute trailer here.
There you
just
go.
A hunch of how I feel about it.
You could be wrong. You should go see it.
I will see it in 45 days on Disney Plus. So I will watch it. I will watch this movie.
It is crazy. 45 days. God, that ain't shit, man. Like, we can totally wait.
It's a month and a half, dude. It's a month and a half from hitting Disney Plus, basically.
Remember we had to wait over a year?
Well, no, it was at least, I remember specifically Batman 89 was about 6 months from release date to VHS. It was like June to November. Came out June 23rd, and I think it hit VHS in November. So it was like a solid 6 months back then. And it's been shortening over time. And now we got 45 days. Like, that's not a lot of incentive for me to go to the theater.
It's not long at all, man.
And I'm also not invested in this phase 4, which is a big part of the problem too. If I was at least invested in what they were building to, I'd probably go see it. But since they don't seem to fucking know, like I don't know either. So I'm not invested in this entire phase, basically, like other than Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well,
it's a shame.
Hopefully they'll build up at the end of this movie.
There'll probably be some scene where, Mr. Moogledy-Boo shows up and you have to Google him and be like...
I think this movie's so big enough that they don't do Moogledy-Boo. They'll give you like...
You don't think they'll do Moogledy-Boo?
Mr.
Mr. Jimmy Flim Flam. Oh my God, I love Jimmy Flim Flam.
I'll be right back, guys.
I saw him. I saw him one time in a comic in 1983. He was in one panel. I'm
Jimmy
Flim Flam to see him in a movie now. Jimmy Flim Flam.
Those 5 people are like, yes, Jimmy Flim Flam.
Yeah, I'm just kind of tired of Marvel shtick. I want to reboot at this point. Just reboot. Give me a new Captain America.
Well,
give me a new Iron Man.
I know Kang is supposed to be in the Ant-Man movie. Is that out this year or is that next year?
I'm guessing that's next year because I read there's only one more movie coming out this year after Thor, and it's Black Panther.
Okay, so maybe it is Jimmy Flim Flam in this one then. Because if Kang's an Ant-Man, then who's the Bobby?
I hope if Kang is who they're building to, then there should be some kind of something to tell us that, right? Like in one of the credit scenes, but. And feel free to let me know. Like, I don't care if you can't spoil something I'm not invested in. Like, I don't care enough for it to be a spoiler, basically.
Dude, I cried in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Like, you can't trust anything that I tell you about. Like, it's like, I get emotionally attached in every movie, basically, I watch, man.
I'm jealous of that. Like, as much as I call you a fucking idiot for it, I'm jealous of it because I want to enjoy everything on that level. I want everything to be like, I want to get sucked into every stupid fucking thing I watch.
Dude, I think me and Kevin Smith, I think of the same, except like he's much smarter. But like when he talks about movies, I'll listen on his podcast. Like he tends to enjoy the same things I do, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But he has a much better vocabulary than I ever will.
I don't know. I can't find it, so it doesn't matter.
But I love it when he talks about shit, and I'm like, yeah, I like that cheesy, heartfelt shit too, man.
And I don't mind like romantic stuff here and there. Again, if it's done, like I guess I have really hard rules about it for what is effective for me. But
yeah, but you won't sit there and cry and shit. Like, dude, I
tear up at movies all the time, dude.
Okay,
I tear up at like Pixar movies. I teared up in Far From Home, or no, not Far From Home. No Way Home. No, I tear up at movies all the time. It's typically not. But no, dude, even rewatching The Matrix Reloaded a few weeks ago, dude, that fucking hit me hard, man. Watching Trinity and then watching Revolutions, fucking waterworks, man.
Yeah, but are you talking about your eyes well up, or you have tears streaming down your face like that?
I'll have tears. I'm not sitting there like I'm not like, but I'll have like
yeah, that's
I'll have
me.
like a few tears.
I'm just trying.
Well up with.
I'm trying to tell you that's me.
Oh, okay.
It's like I'm like, dude, when we were watching Doctor Strange, I'm just like, I'm sorry, Aiden. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like, this is your uncle. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I didn't see anything emotional about Doctor Strange at all.
It was when
there was to me nothing even registered on that level with me in that movie.
It was when she basically gave up her kids again. I was like, God damn it!
Yeah, but see that landed for me in WandaVision. That was a big moment in WandaVision.
Yeah,
but in this movie, it was just like, it was just dumb. Everything about it was just stupid. Yeah. But I remember one of the times I think it was when we went to go see Endgame in IMAX. So it's probably like the third time going to see Endgame at the theater. And see, that gets me. I'll go see movies multiple times when I like them so much. I saw No Way Home twice in the theater. So I will get out of the house for certain movies. But anyway, Endgame, and we're at the IMAX screening, and it was like the middle of the week in the daytime, so it wasn't packed. Like the first two times I saw Endgame, it was packed. I saw it opening night, and I saw it like 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, fucking packed. And the Saturday morning crowd was way more ruckus than the fucking opening night crowd. It was weird. However, we go to this IMAX screening, and it's, I don't know, a third full maybe. And it had been out for like 2 weeks at this point. So anyway, me and Logan go, and Tony Stark is in the middle of dying on screen, and I'm tearing up. And you just like a row or two behind me, you just hear somebody make that sound when they're like trying not to cry. You just hear, and it was great because it took me out of the moment so I could laugh instead of feeling like a fucking like a girly man or whatever. And like, but you just heard that like that, like, it was, but like somebody, I was like, oh, this is somebody's first time, and and like because the theater was like dead quiet, you know, it was like dead quiet. You just hear that sound, and it was just so funny. And I was like, okay, good. I'm glad somebody did that because I felt like a little bitch over here.
Isn't that a great to hear that though? You're like, oh yes, somebody.
Yes,
first time.
Like,
first time.
I didn't want to make fun of them at all. I felt bad for them because like they were clearly like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this emotion right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm in public, like they're doing that thing where you just like, when you were a kid and like your mom, everybody's telling you to shut up or whatever, and you're like still in pain or whatever it is, and you're just like, and you just hear that where they're like trying to swallow it. And
I'm fucking jealous. Like we saw it in IMAX. I went with one of my friends and we saw it in IMAX at like after 3 or 4 weeks after it had been out, but it was everybody had been already seen it. You know, I didn't get the
yeah. I couldn't even tell if it was a man or a woman. I couldn't even tell from the sound. It was just like it was so embedded in their chest that it didn't even sound like a person necessarily. It was just somebody that were trying so hard to choke back their emotions in that moment.
Oh man!
Again, I'm not making fun of this person because, like I said, I'm sitting there with tears streaming down my face. It's the third time I've seen it, and man, they were just trying not to fucking sob. Basically, like they were just, oh man,
yeah.
It was good. It's good to see people react like that to these characters, though. I know that sounds weird, but I know it's been a long time, but It's like, yeah, somebody got invested in Iron Man. Somebody told me that in like 2006. I'd be like, I don't think so. I don't think anybody cares when Iron Man dies. You know what I mean? Like, like nobody's going to give a shit about that. I would not have predicted that.
I cried in Moon Knight, but just because it derailed. It was a different. It was a different set of tears.
Steve's just weeping in the corner, lashing his back with a belt.
I'm just constantly crying. That's me.
That is you. Did you cry at Top Gun 2? Was that a crier?
That was a joyous. It was like I got emotional. I didn't cry, but I was really I was out of my seat, like fist pumping. Like I really enjoyed
it. Like Captain America getting Mjolnir?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, come on, man.
Okay.
It wasn't that good.
I don't know. Maybe it was, but
I mean, it was
one of the greatest. One of my favorite scenes.
But it wasn't like
I loved that like going to see Endgame the second time in a packed house at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. That's what got me. I was like, I wasn't expecting a packed house. I wasn't. I just kind of assumed everybody that was there had seen it already too, but that was not the case because that theater lost their shit like 10 times more than the opening night theater did when they saw Captain America fucking catch the hammer. And I get like chills, dude. I get goosebumps and everything when everybody's just losing their shit,
dude. And
people
I'm like,
screaming and clapping.
Everybody always gives Age of Ultron so much shit, and I'm like, dude, that whole scene with them around the hammer and everything. That's all of that shit leads up to that moment, It's like when Cap, moves it a little and stuff, and God, it was.
Well, that scene's great. Yes, exactly. I thought you were talking about later in the movie, like when they had the big shot. They were all gathered.
He's talking about it after
the party scene.
The party scene, yeah, when they're all just hanging out, and it's a great scene, and all the dialogue's great and funny, and you get all the characters are enjoying themselves for a second before everything falls apart, like always.
Right.
Ultron sets up.
I love Age.
That movie sets up a lot of the.
Well, I love Age of Ultron. I still don't. That's one of those movies where the first time I saw it, I loved it, and I truly don't understand what people hate about it. I love James Spader as Ultron. I love that we get to see, Hawkeye's real life. You get to see Wanda. Well, you get to meet Wanda, and then get to see her like fucking be a badass. Like you get that first scene where she's not just throwing snowballs for the first time, where she actually starts fucking ripping robots apart with her powers. There's a lot of cool moments in that. That's when Cap's that was the first Captain America suit that I thought looked like fan-fucking-tastic, like just like perfect. I really like the one in First Avenger, but the one they made and that they kind of continued with from Age of Ultron on, I really like that design a lot.
Wow.
All right, so let's get to this week's comic. Did everybody read 6 or 7 issues of Batman Under the Red Hood or Under the Hood, whatever it's called?
I ended up reading like 16 issues because I had no idea what we're supposed to be reading. Like every 2 days, Sean was like, "Oh wait, I need you to read this instead." My bad.
So this is what. So I didn't realize when I thought, okay, when I first looked up the story, it said it was like a 12-issue arc initially, but then when I went onto the DC Infinite app, they added like 4 more issues at the beginning. They added this series from the 80s called Death in the Family. And I was like, okay, I guess read that.
Yeah.
Which you read. I did not. I read it years ago, but I didn't reread it.
I already knew what happened to Jason Todd from the cartoons.
Well, you saw the cartoon adaptation.
Right.
Steve, did you know?
I didn't need to read that to know. Like, I already knew who the Red Hood was.
Okay.
Steve, I don't know if he did.
I did not know.
Yeah.
I did not know.
See, I knew everything about this.
I did know the Red Hood because I've heard you guys talk about it before, but I did not
know who he was.
Yes. I knew.
Okay.
I knew he was Jason Todd from you guys saying that before. But I bought all. There's a bunch of movies Sean told me to get when I was like, hey, I want to, get interested in Batman. What do you suggest? And he was like, buy these movies. Year One. What's the Joker one we read?
Killing
Joke.
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. And then Under the Red Hood. So I bought all those. And of course I never watched them. So So they're sitting over there. I unwrapped them the other day. I'm like, God damn it. Sean told me to watch.
A lot of them are on HBO Max.
I think all of them are on HBO Max probably now. You don't even need to put them in if you want to watch them. I'm still waiting for the Long Halloween Deluxe Edition to come out on disc before I buy it, where it puts the whole movie into one.
That one's on HBO Max. Yeah.
Right. I've watched it. I don't want to buy it until they do the
It's good.
Because they did the same thing with Dark Knight Returns, where they released it like the first part and then the second part. Mm-hmm. And I bought like all three of them. And like this time I'm like, no, I'm not buying part 1 and 2. I'm going to wait for the whole fucking ordeal to come out. And that's coming out like August or September now. Okay, so yeah, Under the Hood is kind of a Winter Soldier story. It has some parallels there, I think, with Batman's old sidekick, his second Robin, Jason Todd, who was always a bit of a delinquent. If you know Jason Todd's history, like he found the way he discovered Jason Todd, and they might have covered this in A Death in the Family, I don't remember, is he was trying to steal the rims off the Batmobile. And that's how he met Jason Todd. And
that was not in A Death in the Family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was literally trying to steal rims or whatever, or wheel. I don't know. But anyway,
by the time I read Death in the Family, they basically it was showing that Robin was he was a loose cannon. Basically, that's all we did.
Yeah. He was a hothead. He had attitude, and so when they were going to do this story, or when they did a Death in the Family, they would publish phone numbers. There were like two 900 numbers in the back, and they were like, "Should we kill Jason Todd?" And if you voted yes, you called this number. If you wanted to vote no, you called the other number, and the yeses won out. So
don't they always?
Well, I guess he was a really hated Robin because of his his attitude or whatever. But I think it was close. I think I read it was close. Like it wasn't like a total blowout. So, and I always kind of hated that the Joker didn't kill him with the crowbar. That always bothered me, that like he just beat the shit out of him with a crowbar.
Oh,
and
my
he's still alive though.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I was reading this and Joker beat the shit out of him with a crowbar. And I was like, okay, I knew that Jason Todd died from you guys saying it. And I was like, all right, well, that's where he meets his end right there. And next thing you know, I was like, he's getting up, he's saving his mom that just sold him out. Like, what are you doing? I was like, oh my God, he's still alive. I was like, maybe he doesn't die in this issue. And then like a couple panels later, a bomb goes off and he blows up. I was like, he made it through the whole crowbar incident just to get blown up by a bomb? Are you fucking kidding me? But
you see what happened to the Joker in this one?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I believe there was a crowbar.
Yeah, Jason Todd got his revenge. He beat Joker down the same way Joker beat him down, which was kind of cool.
So one of the rules, I don't know if it's an unspoken rule. It clearly wasn't unspoken, but I guess one of the old rules of comic books, comic books and soap operas are both notorious for bringing back dead characters, right? Super common. However, they used to say you can't bring back Jason Todd and you can't bring back Bucky. Well, they did both, and to great success. But for years and years, and it was a long time. I mean, Bucky died like in the 40s or 50s in comics, so it was a long fucking time before they brought him back. Jason Todd, less time, because it was like late 80s, I believe, and then this story took place around 2004. So you had, it was about, a little over 30 years or whatever. Or wait, no, that's not 30 years. My math is terrible. But point is, like, that was always kind of the thing, is they were never going to bring those characters back. And they did it both, like, in the same decade, basically. They brought those characters back. And
dude, they brought him back. And dude, I really liked the Red Hood. What do you think, Rob? I thought he was awesome, man. I was like, this is a Robin?
Yeah, I've known about the Red Hood from cartoons. So
yeah, but what did you think when you were reading this comic? Did you enjoy the look of him and everything? And
yeah, I thought the artwork was really good in this comic.
Man, I thought
it was real bright. It was real bright.
Yeah, and like he had motivation, he felt like Batman.
I like how he was talking to Onyx. Yeah, he's like they're sitting there, and he's like, "You can join me or not. It's up to you."
Yeah,
And then
Onyx, that was brand new to me. I had no idea who Onyx was. Is she in the cartoons?
I have no idea. I don't remember her.
I don't remember.
That was the first time I remember. Maybe she was in something, but that was the first time I was like, who's Onyx?
Yeah.
So
in the comic, they mentioned there was like 2 people that Batman let crime fight in Gotham. One of them was Catwoman, the other was Onyx. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, I guess she was an assassin or something.
Mm-hmm.
The only assassins I knew were from Ra's
al Ghul.
Yeah,
Ra's al Ghul.
What's the name of their thing?
Are they the? No, they're not the. I was thinking of Daredevil. I don't remember what they're called.
No, not the
Hand.
I
was thinking of the Hand.
They got their own, but they got assassins.
The League of Assassins.
That's it.
She probably was one of those. I'm guessing. I don't remember.
That's the only thing. Yeah, the assassins I know. And then you got Talia or whatever role.
Yeah, Talia.
And then you got Damien. Fuck you.
I want to write all these down just so I can say them back one day.
And then Damien is Batman and Talia's son, who becomes Robin.
Talia.
Yeah.
Talia.
Okay, so Steve, did you knew when I assigned this that Jason Todd was the Red Hood already?
I did. I was pretty sure. I was like, I think I'm remembering this right. And then they show like on the cover of one of the issues, like they show his face. It was like Robin's face.
Right.
I was like, dude, they're giving it away before I even read it. I was like,
so
that's
here's the thing
weird.
too. When this came out, so here what had happened was they got this whole idea. So there's a storyline called Hush, which they adapted that in cartoon.
That's a cartoon. That was good.
They did a storyline called Hush, I think around 2002, I want to say. It was a 12-part series written by I forget his fucking name now. Anyway, so but it was a big deal. Jim Lee did all the art for it. And in that, at one point, they alluded to because there was a new villain calling himself Hush. And when he took off his wrappings at one point, he was Jason Todd underneath, like at the end of an issue. And everybody was like, holy shit, Jason Todd's back. What the fuck? But that was a misdirect. That was fake. It wasn't Jason Todd. I can't remember if it was like Clayface or if he just made himself look like Jason Todd or what it was.
Okay, they mentioned something about when he pretended when he was Clayface. They mentioned something about that.
So it was
I think it was Clayface.
And so, but that got such a huge reaction. I think that's what kind of set the wheels in motion for them to be like, what if we did bring Jason Todd back? You know what I mean? So I think maybe they showed their hand a little bit because people were kind of expecting it at that point. Maybe I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly.
Well, that makes total sense.
It wasn't a big surprise. Yeah, it wasn't as big a surprise because they kind of had already pulled that surprise in the Hush storyline.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I thought this was like overall a decent story though.
Yeah, it was a good story. It moved pretty quick. Did they ever say how he? Did you read on, Steve, to see how he was resurrected?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't even know. Like, was he dead for sure? Like
they left you hanging there at the end.
Yeah. Well, because there
was a lot of unresolved shit.
Batman was already like, he was suspecting that maybe, he was back from the dead. So he went to those Ra's al Ghul's pits of healing. I don't know what they're called. Lazarus pits. Thank you. Pits of healing. But so he was starting to Batman, because he's so perceptive, he's already on to it. And they never explained whether, he was brought back from the dead or, did he die in the first place?
Well,
I don't even know.
That's what the next assignment is. The next 6 issues, so you'll find out.
We're reading on.
I knew this was going to be a midway point. I didn't want to sign like all
if it's
12 or 14
if it's anything
issues
like the cartoons, it'll be the Lazarus Pit.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to cover those next like whatever the last.
I just assumed Steve kept reading like another 20 episodes.
Nah, I didn't.
But I guess that drive time's kicking in, delving into your into your
fucking
comic
sucks.
book reading.
Fucking sucks, man. I hate driving out there. There was another character in this last run we read called Amazo. I never heard of this.
Yeah.
You never heard of Amazo?
No, like he's like a cyborg with all the powers of the Justice League. That's cool.
Yes.
Well, it's
cool.
Some iterations he'll I guess at this point he had already got all of them. Like on some of them, he absorbs whoever he's close to. So if Wonder Woman, if he fights Wonder Woman, then he'll have Wonder Woman's powers. If he fights, so like whoever it is, they're like, no, don't fight him.
I thought that was someone different because I saw that Justice League before.
Maybe it was. I thought it was Amazo.
I thought this one was more like a cyborg or something. But okay, maybe that's the same person. All right, that's cool. But anyway,
I've only seen Amazo in this story. I'm not familiar with him outside of this story.
Well, during this, they have to fight Amazo in this
Justice. Young Justice, maybe. Go ahead.
They have to fight Amazo in this issue, and like Dick Grayson is with him, which is
Nightwing.
Okay,
I love Nightwing.
This is cool. I'm learning about all the Robins and shit. So Nightwing, he seemed pretty cool. Like he looks way better than Robin did, you know.
Yes.
But there's this scene which is really cool, and I saved it. And they're fighting Amazo, and like when you're going up against someone with all these powers of the Justice League, you'd be shitting your pants, right? You'd be like, holy fuck. And then like right before they fight him, there's this couple panels and Robin saying, by the time I think this is bad, he's already airborne and on the attack, just to show how freaking Batman is always like 3 steps ahead. Like it's just instinct.
Right.
Like he's already moving. Like Robin's thinking, holy fucking shit, and Batman's already in the air fucking attacking Amazo. And that's part of the Batman's character that I think is really fucking cool, man.
With Bruce Timm, when he does the cartoons, Batman is always like 10 steps ahead of everybody else.
I love
that,
dude.
Ahead of Superman. He's got a contingent plan. On a contingent plan. Yeah, on another. Like he's always. Like I love the way he writes Batman because in the cartoons because he's always got that next step. And like there'll be an episode where do this and then Batman had already planned for this like later on. It's like that is Batman. He's always smarter. He's the smartest guy in the room. You know what I mean?
And I love that he's smart all the time, but it's also like from what they're saying here, it's more instinctive too. It's like something you can't learn.
Well, that's his when he fights. It's from practice and instinct,
right? And that's awesome. I love it.
See, this is where I disagree. And again, I need to demonstrate this. All my Batman.
You know more about Batman than any of us, so go ahead.
But my issue with Batman is always been that compared to Tony Stark, he's a fucking idiot. Tony Stark's like, I'm gonna make a suit of armor and I'm gonna fire missiles at people. Like, you know what I mean? Like Batman's a moron. He's running around in spandex. He's got a cape. Like he does like all these things. Like he does all this other stuff. You're like, oh my god, he's so smart. It's like, why are you wearing a cape? Like that's. Could you imagine trying to fight in a goddamn cape? Could you imagine trying to fight with your ears covered? Like, you know what I mean? Like everything he does is like actually really fucking stupid. Now in the hands of the writers, they make him look smart, but it's always something that I look at and I'm always like, you would literally lose like you couldn't even take the Punisher on one-on-one. You couldn't take another dude on because he would literally wrap you in your cape and just punch you to death. Like there's nothing you can do. That's what always gets me about Batman is, and again, it's the character, and I love the character. He's up there with Spider-Man as like my favorite comic book character. But it's always funny to me that everybody's like, man, he's got contingency plans. It's like, if he was smarter, he wouldn't need all those contingency plans.
But you know what I mean? But you know why they don't. You know why they don't get rid of the cape. I mean, because
you have to have the cape.
Nightwing doesn't have a cape. They developed a new character. He doesn't need a cape.
Right,
dude. No, Batman is old as awesome. Shit. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Awesome. It's an aesthetic thing, but it's one of those things when I really, for whatever reason, after reading thousands of fucking Batman comics, you just kind of get to a point where it's like with the Amazo thing, I'm like, wow, this Amazo guy should have taken him out in about 5 seconds. Like, if anything, Batman should have called the Batmobile instantly. It should have been, you know what I mean? Like his contingency plan.
He did. He was buying time. That's what they said.
Right. That's what I mean. That's not a great plan when you're fighting someone that has all the powers of the Justice League.
Dude,
they dropped that's not a great plan.
Dude, they dropped in on Amazo. He had no idea Amazo was down there. So like he instantly, he
set up already called.
He lives in a world of super powered villains. His preparation is lacking, is what I'm saying. It's very lacking.
You gotta have some drama. You gotta make it intense.
Yeah, man. He put plastic. He put plastic explosives on his eyes. So when he did the fucking Superman beams,
imagine
he would blow his eyes
out. Get that close.
Assuming you could get that close. That's what he's saying. Batman was already in the air.
A meat sack.
As fucking Nightwing's pissing his pants, Batman's already putting plastique on his eyes.
Here's what I think. I think Batman likes. This is what I've always thought of Batman. He enjoys doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? He likes beating the shit out of people. He does. Like it started with, save Gotham and all that shit. Now he just enjoys like doing that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I've always just written it up as arrogance. He is so confident in his abilities that he gives himself a handicap because he just feels like he's so much better than everyone, which is another trait I don't really care for either. But again, realistically, I guess I should say realistically, but from a standpoint of trying to keep things believable, like that should have been a 3-page comic. Like he should have been dead. You know what I mean? Like I guess, this guy,
Batman should have died 20, or like after 10 years. I guess
when I'm reading comics, I don't go in looking for reality, man. I want.
Well, this is the thing, fantasy. Though. Too. I'm not looking for reality. I'm looking for believability, though.
And this is his favorite character. He's shitting on.
But and this again, though, this is coming from 20 some years of reading Batman comics is also where it comes from, because I didn't used to think this way, and when you're new to it, you don't. But when you start seeing all these scenarios and you have 20, 25 years of Batman stories in your head and you're like, this guy's a fucking moron. Like, you know what I mean? Like Tony Stark is calling down the Hulkbuster, and Batman, meanwhile, has got spandex on. You know what I mean? Like, it's idiotic in comparison. And I'm not even an Iron Man fan. I don't even have Iron Man stuff. You can't help but think that way after, it's one thing to create this character in 1939 and people weren't armed and he wasn't facing super powerful stuff. But like for the villains to ramp up the way they have and for him not to respond in kind is strange.
Well, that's how it was like in the Justice League movie. It's like, well, what the fuck is he supposed to do against fucking Doomsday? Right.
So you're kind of comparing it to like the First Amendment, where like back then they didn't have fucking semi-automatic weapons and shit, and as times change, it gets to be kind of stupid that you think that you have to literally I
have to adapt with the times.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes, you should adapt with the times. As if it again, they talk about this in a Batman movie. They talk about it at the end of Batman Begins when Gordon and Batman are talking, and he shows him that Joker card, and he's like, like we have knives, they get guns, we get bulletproof vests.
Yeah, well,
they get armor-piercing rounds. Everything's about escalation, but Batman's just like, I'm not escalating shit.
Well, that's because he doesn't. He doesn't kill people, though. What is he supposed to do? You got to start killing people.
But you could have a better suit. He has all this technology, but he doesn't wear like an Iron Man suit, which is strange to me. He should have a steel suit or a full bulletproof suit in the comics.
Well, he wore something like that when he fought Superman.
So yeah, exactly. He did have that. And again, he would only wear the other suit when he was fighting like street level thugs or whatever. But it just, again, he could have an Iron Man suit and he just chooses not to. And again, I think that's just, in my mind, in my fiction for the character, he's just so arrogant of his own capabilities that's why he doesn't do it. But again, when you have hundreds of Batman stories in your brain, you can't help but think like, bro, you're supposed to be super prepared, but you're still running around in spandex. Like you're not super prepared. And obviously it's the writer's job to make it, to introduce drama, to make it believable. and everything. But after 20 years of reading Batman, it's like, this isn't believable anymore.
Well, it sounds like you should just stop. You should just stop. Stop reading comics.
Well, in this comic, his reason...
That's a problem. That's a real problem, though, Rob, is as you read more and more, they do, the story cycle. There's only so many stories you can tell.
But
I don't mean to be
in this run that we just read, he lost his R&D department. It got bought out. So at least, but
it didn't affect him instantly, though.
No, but he couldn't go more advanced even if you wanted him to, because
he should have the tech already.
He's got money. The only difference is it levels the playing field because they'll sell it to the criminals, and that's the only difference.
You can't get rid of his suit. He looks too fucking cool.
That's why they have
the other half of me.
That's why they have
it. I don't want it to change at all. But there again, when you read story after story, you're like, bro, you got to step it up, man. That's all it is. I don't want him. There's literally, I love, I'm looking at this statue. I love the suit. I love his suit in the Arkham Knight video games. And maybe in the comics, they do show that he does have Kevlar on, even though it just looks like spandex. I guess it's just easier to draw spandexy looking stuff. But it's one of those things that after so many, you're just like, dude, you gotta be better than this.
When I first
you're
saw
just a guy.
When I first saw the Batman, that scene where he just goes into the crime scene with all those cops around him, I was like, this is so ridiculous. But then the more I think about it, I'm like, dude, just the cops are just staring at him and stuff. And it's like, that would be so crazy just to have him be like, who the fuck is this? What is he doing?
This fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you see his outfit and it's just like, goddamn, you can't help but just fucking stare at him. He looks so fucking cool.
But it's also crazy, right? In modern times, it's crazy. But again, I let all that go because I do love Batman. But what was I... Oh shit! I forgot what I was going to say. It had something to do with that scene though, where he's just out in the daytime, just like, hello, just being Batman. Oh, that's what it was. When I was looking at reviews for that statue I want, and there's a Batman statue I want, and he has the blue and gray outfit from the comics, and I really like that look for this statue. And this one guy, a YouTube reviewer, he was saying, he's like, well, I'm waiting for the black and gray one because he's like, Batman wouldn't go out in a bright blue costume. I'm like, he wouldn't go out in a costume at all, you idiot, if you want to take it to that level. You know what I mean? He wouldn't wear a costume, period. But it's funny where he's just another nerd drawing his line the same way I'm doing. You know what I mean? His line is just different from mine. He's like, Batman would never wear blue. Yeah. Nobody would wear a fucking bat suit. If you want to take it to that level. So I'm arguing with myself as well about my stance. Because like I said, I don't want him to change. But at the same time, when you have all these stories, you're like, man, you got to change, dude. But he always overcomes, oddly enough. So I guess he doesn't.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more vigilantes since all these superhero movies came out. There was one guy that I heard about. He dressed in an outfit and he actually did ended up stopping a crime or something like that. But
really,
that's the only thing I heard.
I think we've had the opposite effect, and we have people who think they're vigilantes, but it just turns out they're just terrorists or mass murderers. They're not actually vigilantes. They're just...
I'm not talking about people sitting at, the courthouse steps. I'm talking about people in uniforms, whole capes.
And superhero outfits.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know why, though? Because it's ridiculous. It's absurd to do that at all. And that's why I think it's funny that guy's line is if you're going to wear a bat suit, you're not going to have blue in it. It's that's a strange place to draw your line,
what I'm saying is these people are morons anyway. Why wouldn't they take the next step, put a fucking cape on? They're already dumb as fuck. Why not fucking come out there with your spandex on,
Yeah, do the whole thing, man. Fuck it.
I need to get back to this Black Mask. I've never seen this guy. He looks cool as hell. I'd love to see him in a movie. Yeah. Is he throughout the Batman comics?
He was in a movie. He was in a movie. He was in that Harley Quinn movie.
Oh, he was?
Played by Ewan McGregor.
Played by Ewan McGregor. Obi-Wan, man.
Oh, fuck.
He just only wore the mask for 5 seconds.
One of those things. I'm Black Mask. And Now you see in the comics, he always has his mask on, and then in the movie, he's like, I'm Ewan McGregor. It's like, put your fucking mask on.
Oh my God.
Mask and you don't wear a mask.
I'm sorry. I only saw that movie once. I forgot totally about that. That's right. He was in there.
No, he is in the comics. He's a newer character in the pantheon of villains. But yeah, he's basically just like a crime boss. Particularly
I didn't know he was
crime boss.
I didn't know he was in Gotham. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, he's been a Batman villain, primarily, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is a cool villain.
I thought both. Sure. I thought both the Red Hood and Black Mask, like visually, they look really awesome.
He just has a temper. Yeah. He's like yeah.
That's
all I know.
Yeah, I like the Red Hood's look too.
He's smart. He's funny. I really enjoy that character.
Okay. So Red Hood is kind of like a progressive Batman, but he still relies a lot on athletics, which is really stupid. And I guess maybe part of my thing just comes from loving the Punisher. Punisher is just like the most practical character who works within his means. He's not rich, but he uses whatever firepower he can get his hands on. He uses body armor, tries to protect himself. And he doesn't use athletics when he's fighting. He stays in cover. He tries to shoot people from a distance. He's not trying to engage in hand. So I think that's where my disconnect is like, not necessarily that I want to see Batman kill people, but you think he'd have better long range weapons than everything he's got batarangs, but it's like, dude, you could have beanbag guns. You could shoot rubber bullets. He could do all kinds of stuff from a distance. You know how exhausting it is to fight? Have you ever watched a fight? Even professional fighters, those fuckers get exhausted. I just can't help but think of that stuff when I look at the character.
He likes to beat people up.
I think you're missing the point. He's so good, he can beat you with a batarang. He doesn't need it.
I know what Sean's saying. He's got 20 years of reading this.
Yeah, exactly. And again, deep down, I don't know. I don't want him to change. I don't want him to turn into a Punisher.
What about when he got old in Batman Beyond? He kind of didn't he do?
I didn't really watch that show. I saw the first.
I think he did
the pilot.
More stuff from afar because he was old.
Yeah.
Eventually he'll have to.
Well, even in the Dark Knight Returns, he was a lot smarter. He used the Batmobile a lot more effectively.
Yeah.
The only time he really got it is when he really wanted to beat that fucking mutant leader up. Is when he was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy." But you notice what he did in that fight? He took his fucking cape off.
Yeah.
And then when he went to fight Superman, then he fucking Iron Manned up. So he did a lot smarter things in the Dark Knight Returns.
And he was older in those iterations. Right?
Yeah. And again, like I said, deep down, I'm arguing with myself here.
No, I get
it. Because I don't want him to change. I want Batman to be Batman. I don't want him to be the Punisher. I don't want him to be Iron Man deep down. But like I said, when you just kind of go through these stories, you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. Step your game up.
Yeah, I get you. It's just.
Do you know that in the original Batman comics, he had a gun? He would kill people. And then they shifted away from that. But initially, Batman had a gun. He was serious business. He put on a suit and he had a fucking little 45 or whatever.
In the comics, did he kill someone and regret it, and that's why he doesn't use or he doesn't kill people anymore? Or? Do you remember?
I don't remember how or why that changed. I'm guessing it probably had more to do with selling comics to kids. Was probably more the motivation. Or maybe when they introduced Robin, maybe that had something to do with it. They didn't want Robin's adoptive dad just murdering people in front of him all the time. So maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, I don't know the in-story reason or even if they addressed it. But yeah, he was a little bit smarter at the beginning. He was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get a gun."
Well, that's the Red Hood. He shoots. How did Jason?
He does use guns. Yeah.
How did Jason Todd get so good with the gun?
Yeah.
I liked in this run Jason Todd had those automatic guns set up to take everybody out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was just like Batman.
He is like a better Batman.
Yeah.
he was calculating like
Batman. He was 2 steps ahead because he learned from the man,
Right. Overall, I like this story. I give it 3 stars. And it introduced the Red Hood is now, he's a character that's in the comics. He's like an anti-hero at this point. He works in the Bat family. But yeah, overall, I think it's a decent story.
I give it 3. Solid 3.
I'm with you guys.
Solid
3. I enjoyed the artwork on this one too. It was kind of familiar. I've seen it before.
Oh yeah, Doug Munch, I think, was the artist.
Munch?
Doug Mensch. Mensch or Munch. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And Judd Winnick was the writer.
What'd you think of the...
overall,
do you like the light gray and dark black with the yellow utility belt?
Yeah, and that's what that other statue was. I love the look of it, but for a statue, I think the blue pops a lot more. And yeah, if I was going to go into it, it's like, why is he wearing blue? And I know why he's wearing blue, because it looks better on a comic book page. That's why they don't put him in an all black suit. It just doesn't look as good on the page as it does in the movie.
I'm not a fan of the blue. I like the gray.
Yeah, I prefer the gray and black overall. Again, and because I do kind of agree with that guy. It does, if you're going to dress up like a bat, what the fuck does blue have to do with it? But when I compare the two statues, though, I prefer the blue version just because I think it just stands out and it looks like what he looked like in that story too. He didn't wear the black and gray; he wore blue and gray, so it matches up with the artwork.
There's something that it makes me laugh when you see Jason Todd's outfit in the Batcave. He's got it encased in glass or whatever. And then his little mask is just floating in the air somehow. It's like it's just suspended in air.
I always attributed that to clear acrylic. That's all.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a little holder that's clear, and when you look through it,
okay.
I thought you were going to mention his little fucking elf shoes, because that's what always bothers me is like the fact that he gave him like these little fucking Keebler elf slippers, and he's like, "Here you go fight crime, 12-year-old, in your Keebler elf slippers." Like, I hate Robin so much.
Dude, that was one of the things. Like when I was reading Death in the Family, it's like, goddamn, he looks like a goddamn elf, man. There's no way around it. It looks so bad, dude. He's got no tights or anything. It's just bare legs. It's like, come on, man. Yeah.
I always, even as a kid, I just never understood Robin, and I wasn't reading comics when this story happened, the Death in the Family, and I read about it after the fact. But I was like, man, I would have been on the phone voting as many times a day as I could to kill that motherfucker. But and then they always just bring in a new Robin. It's like, fuck, stop with the Robins, man. Like, just stop. Just keep it Batman. We don't need 13 Robins.
Damien's costumes, like the red and the black, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, it's better, but he's still Robin. He's still a child. Like, I hate it. That takes me out of it more than the fact that Batman won't evolve.
So you guys said Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Damien.
Tim Drake came after.
Drake.
Oh, there's
Tim Drake came after.
I'm just curious as to how many there are.
There's at least 4.
Is Damien have a last name, or is he just Damien?
Damian Wayne.
Wayne.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
He's Bruce Wayne's kid. So.
Sorry, you know me.
Now, of the Robins, Tim Drake is probably my favorite. Or my least hated, I should say. But I just hate Robin. Like, I just stop with that trope. Like, I loved when they did the Winter Soldier movie, and in the comics even, that Bucky was an adult, But Bucky was a kid in the original like 40s and 50s Captain America comics. He was a fucking child.
He was like,
again, it was a marketing gimmick. They were like, oh, let's give him a kid sidekick. We'll get the kid sales or whatever. And then, when you see him again, he's an adult. He stayed an adult. They did. And then in the Captain America movie, he was always an adult. He was the same age as Steve Rogers, which I thought was brilliant. It just makes a lot more sense than being like, hey, 13-year-old child, let's go to World War II together. Like, they won't do that with Batman, though. They're just like, yeah, it's totally normal in 2022 to have a ward. Nobody has a fucking ward, man. Like,
and
you just look like a pedophile.
And you're displeased with Alfred too, aren't you? You're like, why does he still have a butler?
So, well, that's Well, no, that's different because they have a different relationship. He's technically his butler, but he's more than his butler. You know, he's clearly like a father figure.
His
father.
He's the father figure. It's a different thing. But having a small child and then being like, let's go fight Killer Croc. Like, what are you insane? Like, oh yeah, you are insane.
So wait, Dick Grayson, what happened to him? Did he die?
He grew up.
Orphan.
He just grew up.
He was an orphan.
Yeah, but Nightwing. So he didn't die like Jason Todd.
No, he's Nightwing.
He's Nightwing.
Yeah.
All right. Did Tim Drake meet a gruesome end?
No, he's still around.
Oh, okay. What about Damian?
He's like, I think he's called Red Robin now. And then they did the Damian thing, which is another recent thing. But no, Damian's still around. I think he got killed once. Maybe he came back, Lazarus Pit or whatever. I don't remember.
Oh, they did Lazarus Pit on both of them.
Well, he is a ghoul.
He's Talia al Ghul's son. So
yeah.
But again, just like I don't know why they feel the need to keep. You notice when did the Batman movies go to shit? When they introduced fucking Robin. Like, you know what I mean? It's so obvious that this is not working. Just stop. There's probably like 3 people who read comics who are like, well, it's not Batman without Robin. And they're pedophiles, so don't listen to them. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking stop it. Stop with the Robin. Get fucking, like, give him his own title. He can be Robin separate from Batman, but Batman needs to stop bringing young men into his house. He stopped bringing underage boys to his house to live with him. It's fucking creepy and weird. I don't fucking like it.
Wait, are you saying that Robin doesn't have his own titles? They don't have like a Nightwing comic?
No, he's had. No, he does have his own titles, and
Nightwing's got.
They're not. Robin isn't in every Batman story or anything. In the most recent issue of Batman, Batman 125. He's out with, I can't remember if it's Tim Drake or Damian Wayne now, but I think it's Tim Drake. He's out. Yeah, Tim Drake is doing the Robin thing in this most recent issue, and he gets shot through the neck. And I'm like, oh, please kill him. Please. And I know he won't be dead, but there's a part of me that's just like, come on, see this through. Let somebody have killed Robin. And I know they're not going to.
Yeah, he doesn't even give him all the protection in the Robin costume, like
he's dressed like a Keebler elf. Yeah. He's like, you will go out in his elf costume.
His neck's exposed. You don't see Batman's neck exposed,
right? Yeah, like it's upsetting.
Does Robin live in a tree too? He opens the little door at the bottom of a tree.
He makes fudge stripe cookies.
He makes club crackers,
but they're in the shape of bats, though. So Alfred has been dead in the comics now for like a year or two. Alfred's been dead. He got killed by.
Well, he's Bane, only 180, so yeah.
Well, no, Bane killed him. Bane murdered Alfred, and so Batman's still dealing with that. And but meanwhile, I'm just like, I'd rather have Alfred live to be 3,000 than see another Robin. Like, just fucking stop with the Robins. Fucking stop it. It's bad. It's not good. Stop it. I don't.
Well, there must be. There must be a Robin fan base out there because they keep bringing this dude back.
I don't know what it is. It's got to be minute though, because again, they're making fucking Harley Quinn movies before they're making Robin movies, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Suicide Squad got a movie before Robin did. Like, he's clearly not that fucking popular.
What was the HBO series? It was like Robin was in one of those. What was it called?
HBO series?
Yeah.
Peacemaker?
No, Titans.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Titans. Maybe that was it.
Oh, Titans. Yeah. That show looked terrible.
Robin was in that.
Last season was horrible. Red Hood was in it. Jason Todd.
Oh, okay.
It was not
very I just seen the costumes from that show was enough to make me not want to watch it. I was like, this is some low budget 1990s.
Well, he didn't have his Keebler elf outfit.
TV, dude.
He didn't have his Keebler elf outfit.
No. But they still just looked bad. I just didn't like the costume design. It wasn't good. It wasn't believable.
It's not great TV. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it looked terrible. It looked fucking awful.
It's CW TV. I mean, I think that's what
that's
it was
exactly
on.
what it looked. It looked like fucking original CW quality.
Yeah.
No, because it has HBO money. It's a little bit better.
Well,
it didn't have HBO money initially. It was a DC.
Yeah, it was It was on that DC app. That now it's
But it doesn't mean that they've pumped up the budget at all.
No, they probably didn't.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I want to go eat. So
all right. So we'll wrap it up. We're going to read the next. We're going to finish this arc. And then, but next week we'll be back with our movie, which is Matrix Reloaded.
What do I need to? What do I need to watch? Like, is there anything I need to watch?
Reloaded.
No, I mean like TV wise. Like, I've been dude. I'm trying to freaking finish everything at work. I'm switching routes, so like I'm busy as hell. I'm trying to watch.
I'm not suggesting anything because you motherfuckers won't watch it. So
I watch your stuff. You finished Barry.
I finished Barry. I finished Umbrella Academy. I'm watching The Boys.
I would recommend The Sopranos. Asleep. You need to see this. You need to watch The Sopranos, dude.
Dude, I haven't watched Sopranos since it came out.
It's so good. It's the beginning of like good TV. And I only watched it for the first time earlier this year. So,
did you finish Stranger Things?
Oh, Stranger Things. That's another thing you should watch.
That's it. That's what I need to do. I've been cleaning up my route, dude. I thought it was.
Have you watched Murders in the Building?
No. Yeah, I'm caught up. This last episode I didn't think was that good.
I don't know if I watched it. Was it was it the old lady episode?
Yeah. It was just all her backstory.
I guess I did.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
I haven't seen any of that. Like, not the first season, so I got to watch
first season's good.
That's a fun show. Oh, something to watch with your kids, dude. The 2012 Ninja Turtle series is like my favorite Ninja Turtle cartoon. It's the CGI animated one. I think they're all on either Netflix or Paramount Plus.
Okay.
If you want for something to watch with the kids, man, about 1 million times better than Power Rangers. I'm still mad at you for introducing your children to Power Rangers.
I didn't introduce anybody, dude. They YouTube that
epic failure.
They found it on YouTube. I didn't.
Bluey.
I'm not a Power Rangers fan. I never watched Power Rangers.
But you should have immediately course corrected and been like, if you like this, you will love this, and immediately been like, this. Let's go watch this instead.
I know.
And dude, you could have made some adjustments there. It's probably my biggest disappointment in you.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Introduce your.
Actually,
but you should watch that with the kids. There's a newer series called Rise of the TMNT. It's definitely geared towards younger kids. I don't really like it. Your kids might love it though. The animation is crazy. But the other one is actually enjoyable as an adult to watch, the 2012 series.
Nice. Yeah, I'm starting a new route next week, so I'm spending a lot of time cleaning up my route. I didn't know it was as bad as everybody's like, "Hey, Rock, you got some stales out in your market." I'm like, it's not that bad, dude. I spent the whole week fucking pulling out fucking dip from like last year. Apparently,
shit!
I don't check the dates on jerky either. I was like, ugh. I was like, oh, it is that bad.
Whoopsie. That's because your Matador jerky is nasty.
Well, I definitely need to check.
Are you getting a route? Oh, I guess it doesn't matter if it's where the route is because you still have to drive all the way across fucking town. So never mind.
Yeah, so. I'm in like Midtown, my next route, but yeah, I've been pulling out a bunch of stuff that could kill people. That like I got no excuse, man. I fucked up. I should have been checking. I should have been checking salsa dates. Whoopsie. But all right, I'll watch what you guys suggested, and of course, I'm going to watch Matrix Reloaded. Can't wait.
So, all right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you guys.